The Chiefs have just come out on the ice for a warm-up period. They're about to try for their 5th consecutive win. They're getting a good round of applause from their own booster club, who have traveled all the way from Charlestown to be here in Peterborough tonight.
Need more energy throughout the day? Looking for a kick to your workout? RockinThatIDLife.com has you covered with delicious flavors you've grown to love in tropical fruit and mixed berry, but now fall in love with the new fruit punch and orange flavors. Try them all at RockinThatIDLife.com.
Realtor Mike Burgoyne with Real Brokerage LLC makes the moving process easier. Work with a realtor who plays and studies the game and will work as hard as the boys on the ice to get you the best deal. Check out Mike on the web at strikewithmike.com and jumpstart your move today. That's strikewithmike.com.
Welcome to episode 22 of season 12. This is episode number 431 all time of the often imitated, never duplicated fantasy hockey drafting. We're the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast. Let's Go Blues Radio. Special thanks to our sponsors, RockinThatIDLife.com, StrikeWithMike.com, and CenterIceBrewery.com for proudly sponsoring the show. Please check them out. Also, don't forget to check out the t-shirt shop at Let'sGoBlues.com for some well-designed and fairly priced Blues-themed t-shirts. It's Thursday, October 5th, and we're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. To interact with the show on social media, our handle on all social channels is LGB Radio. Just search for us and you'll find us. And if you haven't already done so, please like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, buy a t-shirt from our shop, make a show that airs after our show called Let's Talk Blues Radio, or do whatever you can do to help us out. I'm your host, Jeff Potter, and I'm joined by Kurt Price, Bill Day, and producer Austin is currently facing some new allegations. What a shock. The agenda for tonight includes the Blues trimming the roster, the recent preseason play, and some news regarding St. Louis hosting a big college hockey event. All that and more on this beautificent episode of Let's Go Blues Radio. Kurt, you got a friend in your studio. Who's this guy? Oh,
Tarasenko.
I should have guessed. That looks just like Vladimir Tarasenko.
Tarasenko pop figure. Yeah, he's going to be sitting in for me this evening. There he goes. I got Tarasenko. I got O'Reilly. Gone.
Those are what are those called? Pop figures, right?
Funko Pop, yeah.
Funko Pop. Yeah, I met somebody the other day. While I was in Las Vegas last week, that said that she has over 427 Funko Pops.
That's too many.
And I'm like,
many.
I don't know. How do you?
They cost like $10, $12, $13 each. The regular size ones, right?
Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
And she was like, "Well, I figure." I think she said 427, and she was like, "I figure I'll make a bunch of money off those in about 20 years." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what they said about Beanie Babies."
Yeah. No, I wouldn't. Yeah, no, I would not get into anything like that to resell as a collectible. I did that as a kid with baseball cards, 87, 88, 89. I'm like, yeah, boy, I'm gonna collect all these cards, have a blast, and keep them all nice and near mint, and then I'll sell them when I get old, and it'll be my retirement fund. Oh no, that era of cards is completely worthless.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Except for the 88 or the 89, 90 Upper Deck. Yeah. I'm sure you've got the 89 Down Rust complete set, right?
I've got 80. I started collecting them on 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. Yeah, those are the prime years for me with baseball card. I mean, it was fun. I had a blast collecting, trading cards and stuff.
I've got a filing cabinet that is literally like larger than my arms can reach. Like I can't hug it if I tried. It's facing the other wall here. Otherwise, I'd show you. The whole bottom shelf is full of just hockey cards. That's all it is. Because I was the same way. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get all these now, and when I'm in my 30s, I'm gonna sell them and be a millionaire. And yeah, I've actually had a couple that have sold for like $10, $15, and I'm like, oh okay. But yeah, not what I expected. I really thought some of those would go for over $200-$300. Yeah, same thing here. Actually, right here, I saw a post on Facebook that was like, hey, if anyone has the Death of Superman comic
I do.
book,
I have that one.
not the reprint, because apparently there was a reprint like 4 years later.
No, I have the original. Somewhere.
Yeah, I do too. So that's what I'm holding right here. They were like, "Oh my god, this is selling right now for over $500 on eBay," and I'm like, "Fucking A!" Yeah, I found out that basically one copy sold by accident. The other ones are selling for like $15.
They made like 5 million of those things.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, "Oh man, that would have helped." But
You know,
no.
you never collect anything unless you just want to because it's cool and you like it. Never collect anything to resell if it's marked collector's edition.
Yeah.
Because that is not going to be valuable whatsoever. Or
Agreed.
anything that they mass produce, and the things you want to collect are things that aren't expected to be kept. And it's like, oh,
Yep.
no one has this anymore. That's the stuff that's rare.
Ken Morris. I used to collect 1960s, 70s Marvel comics, and when I sold them in the 80s, it did not make me rich. Now I collect 1/24th and 1/18th diecast model cars, and they mostly collect dust on my shelves. Yeah, that's so literally like if anybody is an eBayer, you see somebody on there selling old Blues memorabilia, Pronger Ducks 44. That's this guy. I've been trying to sell my old Blues memorabilia. I thought one day this is all going to be valuable. It is not. I'm selling pennants for $3 and old programs for $5. It's unfortunate, but whatever.
Goldberg.
It provided me a lot of fun when I was a kid.
That's cool. I like
Goldberg,
that
the
one.
goalie. Yeah, I got that after he straightened up and flew right.
Yeah.
In his personal life,
in a
honor.
V formation.
In a V formation,
Mhm.
right? The Goldberg Funko Pop, got that one too. That's pretty
This
cool.
is the only Funko Pop I have, and it's all thanks to a wonderful man on this show. There you go.
There we go.
Riley and
Yeah.
Jonesy. All of mine are lined up here.
Oh, you got them in the box still.
I have the entire letter Kenny set in the box.
Oh, nice. I've got the boxes still, but I took them out.
One more from Kent Morris. Ken Morris. Kent Morris is his dad. He said, finally got my 92-year-old dad to bed so that I could tune into the Blues Lads. Is that Cobra Commander?
It's Cobra Commander.
That's
Nice.
incredible. Yeah, there was one of Jeff Goldblum with his shirt unbuttoned, like in Jurassic Park. I really wanted that one, but I could not find it anywhere.
Nice.
Oh my goodness, Weird Al. Very nice.
That's beautiful.
Divide by 0. Hey guys, can't wait for the season. We'll make sure you tune in next week. It's our season preview next week, so that'll be fun. Okay, Kurt. Good Lord.
You know that
This
is?
is not a Funko Pop collector show.
You know that is? Take a guess.
Marty McFly, right?
No. What's in his hand?
Oh, it's Zach Morris.
There you go, Zach Morris.
Yeah, there you go. Very nice.
All right, enough of that.
I want to apologize.
Comedy jokes.
First of all, to our listeners, hopefully my voice does not give out during the show. I have been battling something the last 3 days. I was telling Bill before the show, Kurt, that when I told my mom, she texted me today. She's like, hey, how you feeling? I'm like, oh, I'm good. She's like, you don't have COVID, do you? And I thought, oh my God, I was in Vegas for a week. I'm like, that is the perfect place to pick up COVID. But I did take a test today and I am negative. So I think it's just weird sinuses and allergies and whatever.
You're generally negative though. So just par for the course with you.
Yeah.
You got nothing.
Yeah.
I
thought you were gonna go the other way and make a joke about how I've had COVID 28 times. So that's where I thought you were going. So I was lining up a comeback for that, but you didn't go there, and so now I'm lost.
Threw you a curveball.
Yep. All right. Anything else from you, gentlemen? What's been going on? You guys been watching preseason hockey? I know, Bill, you said you were watching the Senators earlier.
Yeah, just put that on. There's nothing else on the telly that I had interest in, and ESPN's doing everybody a favor with if you have an ESPN Plus subscription, broadcasting all kinds of games. So wanted to see what the Senators look like, and man, they look good.
Yeah, they do.
Wow, they were supposed to win the cup. Was it last year, this year,
I
according
think
to
it's this
their
year.
previous owner. It was this year, right? That his
Yeah, I think
prediction
so.
in 3 years they were winning the cup.
Yeah.
Well, Vegas's came true. They said playoffs in 3, win in 6, right?
Yep. That's
And
exactly what happened.
Yep. And so maybe the Senators will come true.
Fuck Vegas.
Are you guys, not to get too much into the weeds here, but yeah, you said what's been on your telly lately, Bill. For me, it's been basically soccer and Halloween movies. The wife
Yeah.
is obsessed with watching. Every year, she finds like a slew of Halloween movies she's never seen. And so now we're going through them. And like, we're at a point now, we've been doing it for years, and we are getting to some bad shit. What was
Frankenweenie. Have you seen
Shadow of the Vampire? Have you seen that?
that? No.
No.
So that was awful. It was basically, I don't know if you guys know this, back when they made the movie Nosferatu, apparently there was a bunch of weird shit that happened on that movie. Like crew members went missing, camera wasn't rolling at certain times, like weird shit kept happening. And so they made this movie about that, except they like threw in the extra wrench that the vampire was actually played by a real vampire. And that was oh my god, drawing a blank on who. Oh, Willem Dafoe played the vampire. John Malkovich was the movie creator. Carrie Ewells, Eloise, he was like the production assistant or something. And it was, I thought, okay, that cast is pretty awesome. It was terrible. Willem Dafoe was a great vampire, but oh my god, terrible.
What
movie.
year was that made?
Like 2001, I think. Not good. And we just watched Bram Stoker's Dracula from, I believe it was 92, with Gary Oldman, Winona Ryder, and Keanu Reeves, who I love Keanu, but oh my god, don't do serious movies, Keanu.
Yeah.
Woo!
That was like back to back that and what was it?
Have you seen John Wick?
The Shakespeare movie.
That's an action movie.
No
I
drama
consider that
movies. No drama
No
movies.
drama.
Trauma.
Yeah. So
Well,
Julie,
you haven't seen the
And you're
the,
right.
uh,
The Shakespeare one with him was bad too.
Yeah,
You're
was
right.
that
I can't
Midsummer
remember
Night's
what that
Dream?
was.
I think it was Midsummer
I
Night's
think it was
Dream.
Midnight Summer. I think you're right. Yeah.
the boat
With-
the boat dock? Was it the boat dock? What was it called?
The Lake House.
The lake house.
The Lake House.
No,
Oh,
the
Right.
boat dock.
Right.
The lake house, yeah.
Yeah, we have an infamous story about
Yeah.
that.
That was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. No, Julie is a massive Keanu fan, so I've
I love
probably seen
Keanu.
more movies than I care to admit. I could die happy having seen Bill and Ted, the John Wick movies, and knowing that he was Heaver and Youngblood. But
Yeah.
she actually went and saw his band in Toronto in the mid '90s. So yeah,
oh, that's incredible.
it has a picture of him playing bass on the stage. So she's a little bit stalkerish, I think, in her younger days.
No, I
So-
do. I love Keanu, and you know, we've all heard the stories about how awesome he is, like as a person. But like, yeah, I was reminded about his brief foray into drama, and it's like, don't do drama, Keanu. Action and comedy is where it's at for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ken Morris, Anthony Hopkins is in the Dracula movie. Yeah, he plays Van Helsing, and he was pretty good too. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know if that movie was dated or if I just wasn't in the mood. I was just, I was like, it's okay. It was better than Shadow of the Vampire, but, Did you guys see that one? The
What?
Dracula.
It's been
Mm-mm.
way like probably since the '90s that I've seen it. So
All right. Well, enough rambling about stupid shit. Let's talk about beer. Official beers of episode number 431. You can follow each of us on the Untapped app, and I did message you guys. I had a beer that I haven't had. It was my first of the season, so I posted it on the Untapped app. So hopefully you guys are. I know Bill's pretty good about it. Kurt, you got any better about Untapped?
I posted mine last week.
There you go. Perfect. So you can follow each of us on Untapped. Kurt's at Seat Price 12. I'm Jay Ponder 94. Bill is Billy Blue Note 33. I forgot how we've been starting. Let's start with Bill.
I am trying to log in to Untapped right now because I still haven't done that on my replacement phone. But my beer tonight, seeing as how the temperatures are finally starting to fall around these parts, the Breckenridge Autumn Ale.
It's a good one.
This used to be my just go-to every night beer in the fall about 10 years ago. And glad that I'm finding it on shelves again. During the AB takeover of Breckenridge, it got scarce. There's one other beer that they made that I would love to see them come back. So if anybody is actually, consuming this content that has any influence in this, their 72 Imperial cream stout, one of the best stouts I've ever had. Bring it back.
Kurt.
Well, okay. So I've got.
You act like you're surprised. Like, wait, you're calling on me?
I thought you were going to read the comment you put on screen.
Oh, I mean, I can.
I mean, I thought you were going to, but that's
All right,
why.
let's do it.
Okay.
Why not? Let's do it. Grant Hahn says, I think Keanu was in My Own Private Idaho.
Yes, he was.
And was all right in that as far as a drama film. I did not see that, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
River Phoenix
River Phoenix and Keanu. Yeah.
Mm. Oh, nice.
There's a blast from the past. Play Gloria from the Center Ice Beery.
Nice. Where'd you
Yeah,
dig
good
that
one.
out of?
Hazy. It was still in my fridge, in my basement. I've had 2 in there forever. So
awesome.
That's what I'm doing.
I, as I said, not feeling the best right now. So I am sticking to some energy from our friends at Rockin' That ID Life and Dustin Paul. So rockinthatidlife.com out of my shaker bottle, doing a little pina colada. I don't know if you can see the color, but it looks like a pina colada and it tastes like a pina colada, which I love pina coladas and getting caught in the ring.
I was saying, are you into yoga?
Yeah.
I'm also not into health food. Yeah.
I know you don't have a brain.
I do love making love in the dunes of the Cape.
Good stuff.
All right. So first bit of news we'll get to with the St. Louis Blues. They have set their home opener rally for October 14th at Union Station. It is 3 to 5:30, open to fans with or without tickets. As part of the Dobbs Face-Off Week, fans can fire their best shot past the inflatable goaltender, try their hand at the bungee run, and meet Louie and the Blue Crew. STL Authentic's First Form, 101 ESPN, and Ringside Reserve will also be in attendance. There will also be a live performance from the Well Hungarians, which is actually a pretty good get. Bill, I know you're kind of a music buff. Have you seen the Well Hungarians live?
They've been around so long that yes, but it was like early 2000s. After work happy hour kind of thing. I think down on the landing.
Yeah, they do. I know they do like a lot of like country rock, but I don't know they've opened for like country bands. They've opened for rock bands. So very well versed musicians. You know what? I say I've never seen them. I probably have actually. I know they play at a bunch of festivals in the area, so I'm sure I've seen them. But yeah, I know of them, and I know they've been around for a long time. So clearly, that's a pretty good get for this festival. Excuse me. After the rally, fans attending the game should get to their seats for the pregame show, which will feature a brand new opening video and a performance from St. Louisan and blues musician Marquis Knox? Probably Marquis. Knox.
Well, there's an E at the end, so maybe I don't know.
It might be Marquis.
Yeah, I should hope it's a new video.
Here's Ryan O'Reilly and Vladimir Tarasenko.
Yeah, a brand new video to start the season. Well, I should hope so.
Well, we were going through our archives and we found this great video that Eric Brewer put together.
I was going to say, did I just see Bob Basson?
It'd be cool if they broke out like one from like 2002. That'd be cool.
It's shot in HD. Not HD, in standard.
640p, 640 by 480. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have plans yet for the home opener. I will not be attending this. Do you guys have tickets to the game, or do you plan on going to something like this?
I don't have tickets.
Negative.
Yeah, For a number of years in a row, I went to the home opener.
Me too.
And a couple of years I didn't have tickets. I went to the rally and then caught the home opener at a bar or went home, watched it. But not. I got a big pickleball tournament that morning until 3:00. So that's gonna be a good day. I'm gonna have that going on and then head home and watch the game later that night.
Yeah, I was the same way. I used to actually do group tickets. I used to be a group person that I'd get tickets to every home opener, like 30 seats. That was awesome. We did that for probably 7 or 8 years. But when it got to be like, oh, your group discount is $4 off each ticket, it's like, this is not even worth it. And it was right when the Blues got good again in like 2011.
It was like 04 and 05. I had season tickets. And I think they were ended up being $7 a piece.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for 2 tickets, it was like $14-15 to go to a game. This was upper deck. This was top row.
Oh, it was upper deck for me too.
Ceiling
yeah,
fan.
it just got to be like, oh, it's $70 a ticket, but we'll knock it down to $66 for each person. And it's like,
don't do many favors.
Like, I can't get 30 people to agree to that. That's just not worth it. So, and I think they upped the number of what was considered a group too. I think it went from like 13 to like 19, and so or 20. And I was like, yeah, I can't. Because what I would have to do is I'd have to front the money and then get money from everyone else. I was a college student, and I was like, yeah, I'm not dropping $2,000 on this. I don't know what the math is, but that seems right. All right. Well, we got plenty to talk about here, guys. Plenty of Blue stuff to talk about. We got preseason. We've got the roster getting trimmed. We've got a peek into the opening 9 lineup, as we saw in practice the other day. So, and there's a game tonight, actually, that I believe is already over. Should be. I'll check that on break.
Yes. 4-0 win for the
Oh, there you go. So I got to change my notes. I have them as 0-3 since our last show. So,
couldn't watch it.
Yeah, could not watch it. I
Couldn't
tried
watch it.
everything I could.
You could if you did a Bally's Plus subscription, but
I don't think you could.
Do that?
There's 14 people that have that.
But yeah. I don't think that game was even available for that, was it?
It wasn't on the Bally's app, but is there a Bally's Plus too? Because okay.
I don't even think that game was available tonight, though.
When I went to the Blues app thinking they were going to have it available there, I clicked on watch and it took me to Bally's Plus and like pick your plan. I picked nothing.
I didn't even see it in the Bally's app. I pulled it on my TV.
It was the Blues app.
Oh, okay.
I won't download the Bally's app.
Somebody correct me, but I'm pretty sure even if you had that, I don't think you could watch the game tonight. I don't think it was available anywhere. Like, I think we'll see highlights from the scoreboard feed, and that's it.
Well, you said it took you to the Bally's Plus app, right, Bill?
It did not take me to the app. It took me to like it redirected within the Blues app and brought up Bally's Plus and made me sign in with my Spectrum account and then said pick your plan with Bally's Plus, and like I picked nothing.
Yeah, good call.
They have highlights that are not the scoreboard, so it's
okay. Well, maybe there was a Dallas Stars broadcast of it or something then.
Oh, that might be where it's coming from.
Yeah, that's what I tried finding on, because I got a special thing that lets me see stuff from all over the world, and I could not find it anywhere. So I was like, I can watch this before the show tonight.
I think it was the scoreboard feed with Kerber and Vitale. If you watch the highlights of the goals in the Blues app, that's what it is.
And they have
guys,
different video angles.
I am hard up against the break. So that's what they say in the business. So we're going to take that. Well, let's figure this out. Bill, I feel like you're getting ready to make a joke.
Well, it's 10 o'clock though.
Right. It's 10:01. Yeah.
Oh, well, this is why we need a producer.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Damn Austin and his allegations. All right. We are going to take a break. We will get this Bally Plus thing figured out, hopefully. If anybody knows, please put it in the chat. But we will be right back with more Let's Go Blues Radio.
We'll return after these messages.
Every beer league hockey night, I grab my hockey bag and sticks and throw them in the trunk of my car. And the very next thing I do, I mix up a boost of energy courtesy of RockinThatIDLife.com. It's formulated to break up its delivery in 3 ways, which helps me get through all 3 periods of hockey. Phase 1 provides a rapid onset of energy, concentration, alertness, and motivation. By period 2, I'm receiving a dose of sustained energy, increased focus, metabolism, cognitive function, performance, and feelings of well-being, which I need with the way I play. In Phase 3, I'm getting fatigue protection without jitters and crash, an elevated mood, and a reduction of fluid retention to help me make the big play when it counts. This same triphasic approach helps me when I drink it during work hours or simply just for a pick-me-up when I need it. Try one of the 4 energy flavors by visiting RockinThatIDLife.com, but make sure to email Dustin at RockinThatIDLife@gmail.com and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you to receive an additional 10% off your order. That's RockinThatIDLife.com.
Center Ice Brewery is a beer lover's dream for hockey fans. Based in St. Louis, Missouri, owner Steve Albers has been brewing hockey-themed favorites for thirsty sports fans since 2017. From the Beauty IPA to the Old Arena Lager, a cold, frosty, hockey-themed beer is just what the doctor ordered for hockey fans in St. Louis. Make sure to check your local beer store for Center Ice Brewery beer today. LGB. Let's go beer.
During the magical 2019 playoff run, I was in the midst of buying my current home. Every time I spoke with my realtor, obviously, home buying was the discussion. But in the back of my mind, I couldn't stop thinking about what was destined to happen for our St. Louis hockey team. If only there were a realtor who could have walked me through the process, held my hand when needed, but was there to be a sounding board when I wanted to complain about a certain hand pass goal. Let realtor Mike Burgoyne with Real Brokerage be that for you. He'll have your needs top of mind as he skates you through the home buying or selling process, dangling you past any obstacles and assisting on all your home goals. Check out strikewithmike.com for more information or give him a call directly at 314-753-4060. That's Mike Burgoyne with Real Brokerage at strikewithmike.com, and that number again is 314-753-4060. Don't forget to tell Mike that Let's Go Blues Radio sent you.
And now, back to Let's Go Blues Radio, the longest running St. Louis Blues podcast with Price, Ponder, and Day.
All right. Sorry. trying to
finish another fantasy draft there.
No, well, my fantasy draft ended right before the show started. But no, I was trying to update my notes with tonight's game information. And I'm like, oh, running out of time. Bill, you had a question in the chat here. Our friend, this might be a new live listener, Trippin' Myself, says, Bill, how was the church gig? Was wondering how they were with no Peter Kops or Marty Wilson Piper.
So it was back March or April. So it's a few months back. It was decent. I'll admit I hadn't seen the original lineup. Pushing a little too hard, I thought, on the new album for a 401k tour that it was, but it was fun night. It was, got to see some jackass get too drunk and fall flat on his ass right in front of us. That was
Those
fun.
are always fun.
Which it's a church show. Everybody there's like over 40 at least, and yeah, people still trying to do too much at concerts.
I get that.
And it was the first time I was at Del Mar Hall. It's
I still haven't been there. I've heard it's a nice venue.
It's a square room or a rectangle of a room, and it's not bad, but
have you been to the factory in Chesterfield yet?
No, but I did see an article this week that talked about how that is the place to go.
So the Down Syndrome Association of St. Louis, they have their trivia night there, and it's actually, I know last year and I think the years prior, it's the largest trivia night in all of St. Louis County, and surrounding areas, which is pretty impressive. But yeah, it's so big now they hold it at the factory, and they're doing it again in November, which I'm very excited about. So yeah, I went there last November and was just like, oh my God, I got to see a concert here. It is an incredible venue. Very nice.
Yeah. I think Pixies have played there the last couple times they've come through.
I think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing them at that size venue. So
I want to say, weren't they here like last month?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As I say, one of my coworkers went and saw them.
Yeah,
Said it was fantastic.
Yeah, Julie's a huge Kim Deal fan, so doesn't like the current touring lineup. But yeah, I'm always down for a Pixie show. So
Ken Morris getting back into hockey says, I wonder how many games Malcolm Subban will play with the Blues this year. Kurt, your response is dead on. He says, hopefully none. That would mean our goaltending is good and healthy. Yeah, he's the third string goalie. So the only reason he would get up is if Binnington or Hofer have a mental breakdown or one of them gets hurt. So we'll see. Hopefully none, but who knows?
Yep.
And then Joshua McDonald adds to that question. I really hope Hofer can play about 30 games, if not more. I really think Binnington got overplayed. I'm with you, Joshua. I think, especially Joshua. I think especially later in the year when they were still kind of possibly like, maybe we'll make the playoffs. You couldn't trust Grice at all, and it was just. We got to keep rolling Binnington out there and hope that he can just work through any issues he has. If he has an injury, he can just play through it. I agree with you. I think they did not have a good backup last year with a young Hofer back there. I would like to see Hofer get a good amount of games in and see a little bit of a split start situation between Binnington and Hofer.
Yeah, and I think Subban's here to just push Hofer, right? You don't want to just hand the young guy the backup role, right? You got to make him think he's working for it.
Agree. So a couple of Blues notes we'll get to starting off here in our second segment. The St. Louis Blues will reveal the 2024 Blues Hall of Fame class at the October 19th game against the Arizona Coyotes. And they obviously revealed the Blues Hall of Fame. It's virtual, I believe, right now, basically. It was established in 2023. And all the original players were guys that had their numbers retired. There was they had 4 people that were selected in as well as broadcaster Dan Kelly, owner Sid Solomon Jr., Sid Solomon III. So yeah, all those guys are already in. Did you guys see how many people are getting in? I never saw that number, and it's not listed on the news release either.
I would hope they wouldn't make a minimum mandatory. At least one, right? They would put in one, but I would hope they wouldn't say at least 3 are always going in. That seems weird to me. You'd think they would have to have a certain number of votes. You know what I mean? Otherwise, eventually you're going to get to some players who might not be deserving pretty quick if you're doing a few a year.
Yeah, I don't know. So when they did the vote last year, I think they allowed you to vote for 4 people. This year, they only allowed a vote for 1. So I don't know if that plays into it. Like,
last year was
inducting 1
inaugural, so they had to put in a bunch of people. So that's why. But
yeah. I don't know. I have no idea how many are getting in. I don't know. There might be a minimum. There might be a max. I have no idea.
It's everything's so muddy. Maybe they're doing it on purpose to see who gets how many votes, and then they can decide, well, that's enough. They can just like play it by ear as it goes along, but they really should have something out there saying you need this, just like the Hall of Fame. You need this percentage of votes to be inducted.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
So
we'll see. I do think, and I've said this since they released this idea, I do think Alexander Steen gets in this year. That's my my claim. How about you guys? You have anyone that thinks that definitely gets in this year?
What was the What was the list of players? I didn't see it.
Well, before it was the retired numbers, and then there was oh boy.
No, I know last year, but I mean this year.
Pretty much your typical names that aren't in there already. Your Alexander Steen, your Brendan Shanahan, I think was one of them. Pierre Turgeon, I think was on there. I don't know. I'd have to look. I don't even know how to find it, honestly.
Let me see if I can find it. St. Louis Blues Hall of Fame, inaugural class of 2023. Oh, that's already, those have already gone in. They don't have it. There's nothing on their Hall of Fame page that says.
Yeah, they had a vote up and it's already gone. Like they don't even have like here's the people that are potential to go in. They don't have anything like that.
Oh, this is the class of 24. I'm sorry, I was looking 23. Okay, this is on NHL.com.
You're not going to find it. Let's just move on.
Okay, I'll keep looking.
Think it exists. I don't think it exists, honestly. I think they had the vote and it's just gone now.
Okay. Dumb.
That's my thought. All right. So since our last show, the Blues have assigned 21 players to AHL Springfield and released 2 players from their PTO. Since Springfield, and I apologize in advance if I butcher any of these names. Forwards, Mikhail Abramov, Sam Bitton, Will Bitton, Drew Callan, Tanner Dickinson, Adam Gaudette, and Andre Heim, Mitch Holscher, Hugh McGing, Matthew Pekka, and Keen Washkaruk. Defense, I love my favorite name, and I hope he mixes the Blues at some point. Jeremy Biakabatuka, Joseph Dushak, Marc-Andre Gaudette, Wyatt Kalynuk, Leo Loof, Austin Osmansky, and Hunter Skinner. Goalies, Will Cranley, Colton Ellis, and Vadim Zherenko. And then players released from their PTO, forward Nick Ritchie, and defenseman Andy Walensky. The Blues currently have 34 players on their training camp roster. Most notably still remaining, some names here that I think they're wanting to definitely get some longer looks at. Zachary Bolduc and Zach Dean, as well as Matthias Lafayette, Josh Jacobs, Matthew Kessel, Anton Malmstrom, and Malcolm Subban. I made a note here that they still have 12 defensemen, which is clearly 6 more than you need. Really, technically, 5 more than they'll have on the roster. I think they're just wanting to get a good look. I did look at other teams, see how many defensemen they have left at this point. Many of them are still in that same boat, even the higher tier teams, but I thought it was worth noting that they're clearly wanting to look at some of these defensemen. And I think guys like Matthew Kessel and Anton Malmstrom are 2 guys that are getting some really good looks from the coaching staff.
I found it.
Yeah, you did?
On OzarkRadioNews.com.
Oh my god!
And they don't list the names, but they show the pictures.
Okay.
And there's four players.
4? Really?
Well, this is all they're showing. Now there may be more, but this is what they're showing. I don't know why they'd only show 4. Kelly Chase, Jeff Brown, Brendan Shanahan, Grant Fuhr.
I voted for Alexander Steen. I'm pretty sure.
All right, they don't have them all then. Okay.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay. Well, maybe it's one of the Kelly. I love you, Kelly Chase, but second class. Whew. We'll see. I don't know. Interesting. So yeah, back to these names going down. A couple that really are not shocking, already getting moved down. I do think it's interesting again that we're seeing a Bolduc and a Dean stick. I think that's more again. These are guys that are not going to go back to juniors. They're going to go down to the AHL. I don't think they'll be on opening night roster. We'll talk about previews we saw possibly in practice the other day. I almost said training, Bill. That's how much soccer I've been watching. But yeah, I do think they're just wanting to get extra long looks because I think those are the first 2 call-ups when the Blues do have injury at forward this year.
Yeah, I will say, looking at that entire list, including the PTO releases, the thing that I was probably pleasantly surprised at was Nick Ritchie getting released from his PTO. I did
Early.
not like the highlights I've seen of him. He just looks too slow for the NHL at this point. So, I think if they would have kept him in force, it would have been like, poor man's Mike Hoffman making this roster. So I'm excited that they would rather give, further looks to Bolduc. I'm pulling for him to be on that opening night roster, given that Kurt said he would never play an NHL game a couple of years ago.
That's not what I said.
His name is not conducive to an NHL roster, I believe is what you said.
I do believe when you asked for clarification, I said a cup of coffee, and I gave like a number of games, like 32 games or something tops. Something like that.
We got to find. Okay, Austin, if you're awake and alive, look that up.
And I'm standing by that too. 32 games as a Blue.
Yeah, I'll say we had Mike Morial on. He said maybe maybe Zach Bolduc makes the NHL. He's like, Zach, you got to drop the Zachary. He's like that's what's holding him back. And I'm like, all right, we can go with that.
Yeah.
Did you see the starting lineup that Korak posted?
You are mowing my lawn, sir.
Sorry.
We'll get to that in a minute. I do want to comment on what Bill said about Nick Ritchie. Yeah, typically with PTOs,
why is
NHL,
that down there away from the lineup when we're? Okay.
We can move that up, but I want to comment on what Bill said first
because I didn't see it down there.
You had 2 days to recommend an edit,
oh
buddy.
My god! Calm
this is the
down.
first time I looked at it.
I'm sick. Leave me alone. So you're commenting about Nick Ritchie. Typically with like NHL guys like this, that you're like, okay, maybe they don't make it here, but they'll make it somewhere. They're one of the last cuts. So it was shocking to see his name because that was, I want to say it was the day after you guys aired a show last week. I think it was Thursday. They released him from his PTO, and I'm like, wow, he must have been bad. And I did not. So the only preseason game that I watched was the first one against Arizona. And I believe he was in the later game in, Kansas. Why can't I think of Wichita? Yeah. I think he played in that game. So I did not watch him play at all. But yeah, from what I heard from people that went to training camp, he does not look like he has NHL feet. So probably not going to see him in the NHL again.
Yeah, not without losing some weight, I think. So for those curious, the Blues did bring in 3 players on a PTO. It was Walensky, Ritchie, and then Isaac Ratcliffe, but he got injured, so he just disappeared.
Yeah, well, they brought in Sam Bitten too.
Yeah,
but they sent Sam Bitten down with his brother, so I imagine they're keeping him around, or at least letting Springfield take a look at him. But yeah, that's true. Ratcliffe, that guy's gone. What's funny is that we were in Vegas, and one of my good friends, actually listener Leon, to the show, he asked me, he goes, "Hey, so what do you know of Isaac Ratcliffe?" And I was like, he signed a PTO with the Blues. That's all I know. And he goes, "Oh, so you know about as much as I do." And I'm like, "Yep, 100%. Know none of his body of work."
Second round pick of Philly, I think, is the other tidbit I picked up tonight when trying to figure out what happened to that third PTO guy.
Yep. All right. So to Kurt's request, we will talk about the peek into the opening night lineup from Lou Korak. I said STL Blues. The Blues practice lines, I believe this was on Wednesday. He posted this. They were doing line rushes with Buchnevich, Thomas, and Kyrou, Saad, Shen, and Kapanen, Vrana, Hayes, and Blay, Neighbors, Sundquist, and Toropchenko. We'll go through the D pairs first, but I wanted to get your guys' take on those. First of all, I'll just say I saw a lot of vitriol on this. I saw a lot of people saying, "Oh my God, this is going to be a long year. These forwards are awful. They're not even an NHL group." I like the forwards. I think the forwards are going to be fine.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah. I'm like, what? Now, defensively, you're just rolling the same guys out there, except for Tucker. which
Agree with
apparently
that.
Tucker is in and Rosen's out. Which is okay. Well, let's see how it goes. But Buchnevich, Thomas, and Kyrou, like Saad, Shen, Kapanen, like Verana, Hayes, Blay. That's gonna be an interesting line.
Yeah.
And then Neighbors, Sundqvist, and Toropchenko. I like that fourth line. Unless you want to say that Neighbors needs to be sent down to get more minutes, on the top two lines or whatever. But playing Neighbors on a fourth line is probably not where you want to keep him. But I like the forwards.
I think that's where he belongs, honestly.
In the fourth, I'm thinking third,
fourth line. I think that's where he's at in his career, and I think that's where he's going to stay personally. And I'm fine with it. I think he can be a good contributing factor, like a Barbashev in a way. They could still contribute on the bottom six, but I don't know. Hopefully, I'm wrong. I don't see him.
Barbashev's a lot more physical than Neighbors is, though.
No, at this point, I'm still hoping for Jaden Schwartz 2.0, minus the Schwizzle Schwartz.
Yes.
Thank goodness that if Jamie Rivers starts pulling that shit, we're getting rid of him real fast. Okay. I think a little tweaking to that. Obviously, Berube doesn't stick with things for very long. I think seeing Kapanen and Verana back on a line together is going to make a lot of sense. Gives chance for Neighbors to possibly slot up onto the second line, depending on if he's able to play more on the right side. He could slot there in the third line, swap with Blay. Blay's good third or fourth line, but he was effective on the fourth line last year.
If you were to ask me where the hole is on offense, I would say I think they could use one more top six guy. I know that the reclamation projects last year of Verana, Kapanen, and Blay was phenomenal. We all loved them. To me, the weakest of those three guys was Kapanen. I think I saw some things that made me see, okay, this is why Pittsburgh put him on waivers. I don't think he's a bad player. I just think top six, I don't think so. I think he slots in pretty well on your third line. So if this team somehow is pushing for the playoffs, I think that is something to look at, is maybe another winger that could fit in on their top six, because maybe a David Perron, right? Because I do think that is one slight hole, I'll say, but I think top to bottom, that's a pretty good forward group. I like it.
Yeah, there's nothing glaringly wrong with the forward. Now the defense is.
Yeah, let's talk about the defense. Yeah. So there's four pairings that we're doing line rushes. Leddy and Parayko, which fucking stop. Good God, we tried that enough last year. Did not work. Krug and Falk, fucking stop. Scandella, Tucker, and then Perunovic and Bortuzzo. Somebody else talk, please.
What about Perunovic and Parayko? What about Rosen? I'd love to see, I don't know. I would love to see. I don't know why Rosen is just not liked by this organization as much as they probably should be. Arguably our best defenseman last season is not even in the top 8, apparently. Now, Perunovic
is going to be a waivers casualty.
God, and you know what?
They're going to let him go.
It's going to be Wallman all over again.
Well, the Blues still have a game against Chicago, and Perunovic can still break something.
Don't do it, Bill. Stop it.
And Perunovic, I mean,
not that I want. I that's the guy that I want in the lineup most out of all 6 of those guys.
Perunovic.
Yeah,
me too. And I would,
if your trade off is Rosen for Perunovic, I take it all day. But,
yeah, I think.
Rosen, I agree.
And I don't know, I don't know if you guys saw Berube's comments about Rosen. I think it was yesterday or maybe the day before. He basically made a comment like, "We don't care what happened last year. You got to prove it in training camp this year." And I'm like, you're telling me that top 8 is proving it right now, you're telling me Marco Scandella is having a better training camp than Callie Rosen? I find that very hard to believe.
Tucker had a better year. Well, he's not counting last year. I don't like those comments. Yeah, because exactly. I mean, if it doesn't matter what you did last year, then it doesn't matter what you did 2 years ago or 3 years ago or 4 years ago, or the fact that you're a fucking veteran, right? Because that means you're a veteran. You've been legal. So if it doesn't matter last year, it sure as hell doesn't matter 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago. So if it's all about this training camp, then what the fuck are we doing? Why is Rosen not in there? Why is Scandella in there over Perunovic? Why I don't understand. And I'm sure this will change a lot.
It's because that's bullshit. What he said.
I know.
Bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all about contracts. That's all it is.
It's contracts. There's over half this defense is for sure penciled in going to play. They're not going to sit them ever. Letty, Pareko, Krug, Falk. Those 4 guys. And Bertuzzo, God love him. He's a fill-in. But Perunovic, I said this before on the show, he's got to play. He's got to play. Play the guy. I mean, this is not a year where we're expected to compete for the cup. Play Perunovic. Play him.
Yeah, we know what we're getting out of the rest of these guys.
Yes.
And listen, we've talked about it. Hopefully they're better with a new defensive system and Mike Weber leading them. But you need to get some new blood in there. And I'm all for them being like, you know what, vets, we're just going to sit one of you every single night. Like, Letty, you're going to sit opening night so we can play Perunovic. If we lose, Krug, you're sitting the next night. We're going to put Tucker in for you, and Perunovic is going to play for Scandella. Like, they're never going to do that, but I would be totally cool with that because, like you said, Kurt, it's like we don't have very high expectations about this team. Let's get Perunovic in there every fucking chance we get, and I even put Tucker in that too. I know that there's some weird Blues fans who think Tucker is the greatest defenseman to ever don the blue note.
That
but I will say I'd
fight.
rather see him in the lineup than most of these guys that we're going to see every single night.
I do not care to see Scandella play anymore. I would the fact that he's making 3.275.
Right.
That's why he's playing.
Yep.
God,
you're not going to pay that in EA.
And I hope to God Tucker is everything this team is trying to give him every opportunity to be. And why Tucker is in this lineup over Perunovic when Perunovic is the immensely more talented
we don't know that.
than Tucker.
Well, I'm saying if you look at the pairings, 3 was Scandella Tucker, 4 was Perunovic Bortuzzo. 1, that could just be how Korak put it in the tweet. And 2, that could be an interchangeable third pairing. So we don't know that.
His speculation was that was opening day lineup. That's because he was asked about it in the thread. And in total, and again, it could change. Like you said, total speculation. There's not until the 12th, right? So lots of stuff could change, but still,
one of those guys has to go down, right?
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't.
What'd you say, Bill?
1 week tonight, the 12th.
Right.
So,
yeah, I think one of those guys has got to go down. I actually wish it'd be fucking Scandella, but it's not going to be. We know it's going to be Tucker or Perunovic.
And they should waive it.
Gotta be Tucker. It has to be. Right?
Well, it's not going to be Bertuzzo.
No.
I mean,
and it won't be any of the other 4. So really, it comes down to that last 4: Scandella, Tucker, Perunovic, Bortuzzo. It, to me, should be Scandella, but I don't think it's going to be. It's going to be Tucker or Perunovic. And if it's Perunovic, I'm going to get pretty fucking pissed.
Yeah, because what are we doing? Unless you have a trade in place for him. What are you doing? It'd be different if this team was expected to challenge for the cup. So you want to, whatever you don't want to maybe play the less experienced younger guy, maybe, or ease him into the lineup as the season goes on. But he's had a handful of games up here. He played in the playoffs, for God's sakes, and played well.
Played very well.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm just, and again, this could this could work out just fine, right? But based on everyone's fears over what happened last year happening again, we're pretty much rolling the same defense out there, minus a new defensive coach. So we're putting an awful lot of weight on Mike Weber.
Yep.
Not giving him, I mean, if this defense fails and they don't really play Perunovich a lot, they don't bring up Rosen and play him, and they just keep rolling the same guys out, and it sucks again, then, you can't blame Weber. Weber's got a free pass this season.
Oh, I agree, 100%.
Because he can only look good.
Yep,
it's
true.
not his fault if the defense sucks. It sucked last year.
I think next to go, unfortunately, probably Berube. But at that point, I think you really have to look at Armstrong and say, holy shit, dude, this defense is in shambles for the next 3 to 4 seasons. Like, you might as well trade away everyone because you ain't going anywhere with this defense.
Joshua McDonald says Perunovich has played over 20 minutes in all the preseason games he was in except for one. So they're giving him a good look in the preseason. But
yeah,
according to Korak, his speculation is that he won't be in the starting lineup.
I don't want to put words in Korak's mouth. I don't know if that's what he's saying.
He literally said this.
He said it. Was this in another tweet than what we're looking at?
No, it's the exact same. Well, let me see. Let me pull it up. Where's Twitter? God bless.
Because
America.
in the practice lines, he has 4 pairings. So one of those has got to go. He might have just put it down that way.
No, he's going to put it 1 through 4. In terms of. Okay, so yes, here it is. Okay, so someone asked him opening night forward lines ? And Korak says, I would say so, yes. And these are the exact same, same tweet that you shared.
He said forward lines, though.
Oh, forward lines. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think we're just speculating here on D. I don't think we really know.
Well, okay. And maybe he doesn't either. But
the only thing,
if you're listing them, but traditionally, when you list them this way, it's line 1, 2, 3, 4, defense 1, 2, 3, and then your extras.
The only thing we can definitively say with that tweet, and also there was others that backed him up that were at practice too, that Callie Rosen's not in the mix.
Yeah,
and that is a travesty to me. I put Rosen in over anyone but Falk.
Scandella,
honestly.
Tucker, Bertuzzo. He's not going to go in above the big 4 money wise,
no.
But out of the bottom 4, he plays above everybody.
Yep. Divide by 0. Are they trying to sneak Rosen through the waiver wire? There's no such thing as sneaking through the waiver wire anymore. People know who he is. A team like Toronto already got a really good look at him before they let him go. So yeah, I think he is going to be a casualty of the waiver wire because of the defensive contracts this team has. They can't hold on to everyone.
The only way he doesn't, I guess, by sneaking through the waiver wire, it's meant that, you put him on waivers at the same time as a bunch of other players, like the whole league does. And, and he gets lost. And there's other players that teams would rather have, so they take them instead. Maybe not that a lot of players get claimed on waivers anyway.
No, I think like 2 to 3 a year.
Yeah.
But I could honestly see him being one of those.
Maybe, but if he gets put out there with some other players, then maybe he's not as desirable then. But I don't know.
We'll see. Either way, and then of course in goal, Binnington and Hofer were the goalies that Korak saw. I think that's no question at all. This is not a situation like in 2011, 2012, when it was, which we talked about on this show, right, Kurt? 2011, 2012. I remember us having this conversation with Jeff Quirin that they brought in Brian Elliott to push Ben Bishop. And guess what? Brian Elliott ended up pushing so hard, he pushed Ben Bishop out.
Yep.
So this is not going to be that situation. Malcolm Subban, Bill, I think you said it earlier, he's there to push Hofer and make sure Hofer stays on top of his game because he knows there's an NHL goalie waiting to get his chance. And from what I've heard, Malcolm Subban and Jordan Binnington are apparently very good friends. And they basically he's excited to. He even basically said, "I'm excited to start in the A and move up when I need to." But so he knows his place. But I'm happy to have him there. Seems like a good team guy. But yeah, it is Hofer's backup net until he loses it.
I'm optimistic about the goaltending.
Me too.
As a whole. I mean, I think, yeah, Bennington's been up and down, had up and down seasons. But based on his play last season, I think his consistency is coming around, because I'll have this debate with anybody about his play last season, about how he was much better than the numbers showed. But so I'm not too concerned about him. I am concerned about the defense in front of him again. But yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic about Hofer. I mean, a lot to like about him. So hopefully he has a nice full first season in the NHL, and hope it doesn't play too much, because what was the comment in the chat? 30 games.
30 games, yeah.
Yeah. Hope so.
I'd be fine with 30 games.
Hope so.
25 to 30. I think that's good. That gives Bennington plenty of rest throughout the season. That includes all back-to-backs. Like, I think that'd be great.
Yeah, and most importantly, no Thomas Greiss fiasco this year.
Yeah, right. Thank God.
That was such a weird situation. Is Prunovich waiver wire exempt?
Yeah, divide by zero ass. Okay, I don't know for sure. If one of you guys want to look it up, that'd be awesome. I think he's got a games played minimum in the NHL that he is going to be able to sneak through waivers, but I might be wrong on that. So I don't know if you guys want to look up waiver eligibility, but I think he would be able to pass through. I think Tucker too, but I could be wrong on that. That might depend on, I don't know, eligibility. I don't know. Sorry, we should know that, but we don't. You guys don't know it offhand, do you?
I'm looking it up.
It's Austin's job.
It is Austin's job.
Cap friendly. Let's see. Oh,
go ahead and look it up. We can move on. So preseason, Blues have gone 1-3 since our last show. Thursday they lost to the Chicago Blackhawks 2-1. Goal from Robert Thomas. Goalies in that game were Joel Hofer and Will Cranley. Hofer stopped 19 of 20. Cranley 12 of 13. Shots were in favor of Chicago 33-25. Saturday, they played in Independence against the Kansas City Scouts. I'm just kidding. They played the Dallas Stars. That was a 4-3 loss to Dallas. Goals from Braden Shen, and Alexander Bolduc, who will never make the NHL. Goalies
until he changes to Alex.
Goalies.
No, you said Alex. Zach.
Yeah,
Zachary.
There was an old Blues draft pick way back in the day, Alexander Bolduc, who never made the NHL.
So he finally made it.
Yeah. So goalies, Colton Ellis stopped 13 of 16. Jordan Bennington 12 of 13. Shots were in favor of Dallas widely in this one, 29-15. Monday, 5-3 loss to Columbus. Goals from Jacob Vrana, Sammy Blais, and Jacob Vrana. Goalie Joel Hofer stopped 34 of 38. 34 of 38. Yeah, because there was an empty net goal. Shots 39-39, so a shooting gallery in that one. And then just ended tonight as we went on the air. Blues versus Stars. Blues won that one 4-0. Goals from Robert Falk, 2 from Robert Thomas, and 1 from Jake Neighbors. Goalie was Jordan Bennington tonight getting the shutout. Shots were 28-24 St. Louis. So I did listen to the show last week. You guys talked about shots against kind of being an issue. I'll tell you my thoughts on that. I'm okay with it in preseason because maybe these guys are just trying to get acclimated to the new system. So if they're going to give up a lot more shots, and maybe they're just shots from the outside, we're not watching these games. If they're allowing shots from weird angles, and I know Bennington gave up a couple bad ones last year, but that's because he was facing 40 shots a game. They're just giving up bad angle shots. That's fine. So you got to hope that's maybe what's going on. Anybody who's watched these preseason games, I didn't watch any of these. I know some of them were streamed on the Bally's app, but I just could not find the time to watch them. You guys watch any of these games?
Only I watched the Hawks game. Didn't watch any of the other games.
So what was your take of the game you saw them play against the Hawks?
Boring as hell. everything was still super slow motion. And I mean, it was interesting getting to see Bedard play, and he's two kind of under the radar assists in the game. But yeah, it was just definitely a preseason game, and not enough to get me excited to go out and watch another one over the weekend. So
that's kind of how I was after watching the first one against Arizona. Oh, good, Kurt. I guess you got an answer. We'll get to that in a second. I just want to say that with the Arizona game, that was the first preseason game for both teams. Oh my God! Like I was watching that, and I'm like, and I know this is totally being exaggeratory. Is that a word? Exaggerating.
I don't think so.
I don't think it is. Totally exaggerating here. But I'm watching that game, and I'm like, good Lord, my summer league team could keep up with these guys. Like they looked so slow. Passes way off the mark. Goalies just not cutting down angles. I'm like, oh yeah, this is a throwaway game behind the barn in fucking Ontario. Like this is a bad game. So I imagine it got a little better by that Chicago game, but still working out the kinks.
So to answer Did by Zero's question, doesn't Perunovic have to go through the waiver wire? He does. He is not waiver exempt, according to Cap Friendly. And exaggeratory, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, is not a word.
Thank you, producer Kurt.
Yeah,
it should be a word. Exaggeratory.
I like it. But yeah, Cap Friendly has a nice waivers calculator, and you can choose the team. You can choose waiver exempt, waiver required, or all players. And waivers required, we've got Perunovic. We've got let's see who else. McEachern, which Rosen is waiver required. So,
okay.
Tucker.
Does it say? I'm sure I think there is somewhere actually on Cap Friendly that tells you why players are waiver exempt and not. But we don't have to get to that tonight.
It goes by, let's see, when a player is reassigned from the NHL to the AHL, they must pass through waivers. On this exempt, waivers allows any of the other teams to claim, okay, this tool determines when a player will no longer be waiver exempt. Age is defined as the following. So it depends on the age and when you sign your contract. Let's see, waivers, FAQ, the plains a whole explanations. Let's see. Man, it's a long thing on what makes
there's a
waiver.
Lot. Like I said, we don't have to go through it, but it is on Cap Friendly for anybody who wants to look it up. I'm so glad, Kurt. I know you were a hockey nerd back in the day too. I'm so glad we don't have like the Group 1, Group 2 free agents. You remember that shit?
Yeah.
Oh, that was so confusing. Like this guy's a Group 1 free agent. This guy's a Group 3 free agent. I'm like,
what does that mean?
What the fuck does that even mean? Yeah,
they've even got stuff
in that.
They've even got stuff in here for the COVID shortened season. There's rules for that with, games you played during that prorated.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's capfriendly.com/waivers -FAQ. They'll explain what the rules are for waivers.
And I'll say NHL contracts are so much easier to understand than any other league. They don't have the option, the player option, the team option. Teams in the NFL can just terminate a contract. He gets guaranteed money, and it's like, but the rest of that could be gone. It's like they don't do any of that in the NHL, and I appreciate that. It makes it a lot easier to follow.
Remember how things used to be as far as when players would get signed, like with the whole Judge Houston thing with Steven Shannon? I mean, a judge, it can go to arbitration, and a judge can determine which players get picked off of your roster against your will to complete this trade. It's It's amazing how that's different. And how about if you the Blues were able to sign Shanahan, or no, the Blues were able to sign Shanahan.
And
because they didn't have the number one picks,
the draft picks.
Yeah, they didn't have the number one that needed to compensate. They had to go to that wouldn't even be allowed to be done today. It's just so absurd.
Well, and we talked about it. Like, imagine something like that. The fans would be in an uproar. Like, can you imagine if the Blues, I don't know, let's say the Cup year, the Blues signed Pat Maroon, and they were just like, oh, nope, that wasn't allowed. He still had rights with Anaheim or whatever. And they're like, okay, you just acquired Ryan O'Reilly. You got to send Ryan O'Reilly to the Ducks. You know, that's maybe a bad example. But it's like, can you imagine how fans would have felt? Like, what the fuck? You're sending one of our players away because they signed one of the other guys? Like, what the fuck?
It was Scott Stevens, the premier defenseman who was had just entered his prime.
Yep.
Right? I mean, he had a long
And then
prime.
he goes on and wins a couple Stanley Cups with New Jersey.
It's a 3, wasn't it? I think
so.
Maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But he had just entered his prime, and he had a long prime. He was so dominant and so good.
Well, a left-handed defenseman. Can you imagine? We've talked about this too, and maybe that doesn't happen. But having a left-handed defense, 1-2 punch of Stevens and Pronger.
You know what we should do? You know what we should do? We should do like an in-depth show and just do a lot of research beforehand and say, what would this team look like? What could this team have looked like then and down the road had New Jersey accepted Brind'Amour and Curtis Joseph instead of going to court and then getting Scott Stevens? That massively changes this franchise.
You know what? And you know what else? That massively changes the New Jersey franchise.
Yes.
Do they draft Martin Brodeur?
I mean, that's a good Steve Dangle show. Like the whole trade tree he does with this stuff.
Yep.
He should that'd be like, what if? We should do a what if show.
Oh, we've talked about that. That would be fun. We've talked about doing a what if segment. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Maybe we should. Yep. Hey, new season's coming up. Let's hypothesize.
We'll do a what if. We got to get rid of something else though, because we can't be doing 3-hour shows.
That's true. We'll get rid of something.
What if
we'll get rid of the Blues talk? Let's get rid of that.
Right.
What if we had a producer who showed up?
That'd be nice, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So another big news item. This one just relating to the city of St. Louis. St. Louis is going to host the ACHA National Championship in 2025, 2027, and 2028. They have an option.
Is that drag racing?
No, it is not. You're thinking of NRHA, I believe.
NRHA, yeah, sorry.
Yep. They also have an option in 2026. I think that's the city's option to host it in 2026.
Is it NHRA or NRHA?
NRHA, I believe.
National.
This
Hot Rod
is the
Association?
ACHA.
Yes, you were right, Kurt. National Hot Rod Association.
And HR.
And HRA. Okay. Yeah. I know nothing about racing.
I know very little. Apparently a little
more
than
that I
you
even
do.
had the letters right, I'm pretty proud of myself.
You did. You just got them all mixed up.
Centene Community Ice Center is going to host most of these games. Thank God, they need the revenue. The Maryville University Hockey Center in nearby Chesterfield, they're going to host the overflow games and practices during the 2022 ACHA National Championships and will do so again for the ACHA's future national championship events. Centene previously hosted the 2022 ACHA National Championships and will host the upcoming 2024 ACHA Championships presented by Flow Hockey from March 7th through March 17th, 2024. So mark your calendars for that. Dates for all years are listed currently on the Blues website if you're interested in seeing all those dates and marking your calendars. Players from 82 teams across all 5 ACHA divisions, that's men's division 1, 2, and 3, and women's divisions 1 and 2, will converge upon the suburban St. Louis area to compete in 121 games over the course of the ACHA's premier event. So ACHA is not the premier college league, but you still get some damn good hockey coming to town. I've seen a couple ACHA games that have just kind of come through town, and they are a lot of fun to watch. So if you're looking for just maybe you want to watch some hockey at a much cheaper price, something to look into. A lot of fun to watch and a lot of fun seeing these prospects coming through town. Have you guys been in the ACHA events before?
I've not.
I've not. We're we're gonna have to be better about being, part of the bi-state. We're very limited over here on the Illinois side.
You guys are bad people. No, I so the
Wow,
the,
that turned dark.
the Frozen Four has come here before. My brother and I remember went to a couple games, and it was like an all-day event. They had games at like 1, 4, and 7. I think my brother and I went to the like 1 and 4 games, and no, it wasn't the Frozen Four. It was a breakaway, breakout, something like that tournament.
Frozen 4 was here though.
Yeah, it was. That was not the
2007.
one I went to.
Yep.
Yeah.
I went to that.
Yeah, I think I was out of town for that one. But
You're bad people.
I am. I'm awful person. Just as people of Vegas. By the way,
I can't
Mark
because
Stone.
what happens there stays there.
Fuck Mark Stone.
Yeah, fuck
I just
him.
want to say that.
Asshole.
We don't have that to talk about here, but I was at that game. Clean ass hit. For those who don't know what we're talking about, he got hit in a preseason game by a Kings prospect, and clean fucking beautiful hit, just gorgeous hit. And of course, my friends and I were at the game, and we're like, somebody just fucking rock Mark Stone. We all hate him. And what he did, we cheered like it. Like that's the only time we cheered the whole game. Like we didn't care. We were there to just hang out and have fun and watch the game. When he got hit, we all stood up and started applauding. So yeah, we got some looks. But yeah, after the game, he make some comments like, "Oh, yeah, he's just trying to make a name for himself. We'll never see him again. He's never going to be in the NHL." And it's like, shut the fuck up, dude. That was a clean hit. You can't take it. Get off the fucking ice, you loser.
I mean, it is hockey. It's a rough sport. You don't like it. I mean, he's crying. He's crying about a check in a hockey game. Get the fuck out of here.
That's exactly what it is.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Crying about a clean hit, which he got up from and was fine.
Yeah.
So
it's one thing to get rocked like that and to get up and grab the guy and like, wow, and to maybe go at it just because, hey, wow, you laid me out. Okay, now I'm going to defend myself. That's different than jumping up and acting all like outraged that you thought the hit was dirty or late or something. And it's like, no. It's two different situations. Like if you're going to go after somebody because they hit you and you just want to get them back, or two, if you think it was dirty hit and it wasn't, that was just lame.
Well, like the people I saw defending Stone, nobody said it was dirty from what I saw. Like I'm sure there were some that did, but the people who were defending Stone was like, well, his point is that this is preseason and like you don't need to be going full steam. And I'm like, heck, clearly you have never played hockey because there is no letting off the gas when you're in a game. Like, yeah, there's times when you're maybe up 12-1 and you'll be like, okay, guys, let's just get to the buzzer here. But like especially when you're a guy trying to make the NHL, there's no letting off the gas. You're going full steam. You're skating hard. That's hockey. So if Mark Stone has a problem with it, don't fucking play. Stay off the rink.
I got something here. Whoops. Crap. What happened? I'm going to share something here. I didn't want you to move on past it. So is this Mark's? Is this is this what you're talking about?
Yeah, let's see it.
What are you guys doing? This is supposed to be an exhibition. You understand? An exhibition.
Yeah, exactly. This is supposed to be an exhibition.
This is supposed to be an exhibition.
Dude, when I saw people saying that on social media, I'm like, come on. Like, I don't care if it's 2 rookies or 2 40-year-old guys on their teams. Like, this is still hockey. You're on the rink. Like, you don't think like, oh, I should let off. It's preseason. That's not how your mind works when you're playing hockey. Good Lord. Yeah. One note for anybody who maybe, again, is considering going to this game. If you're maybe living in the Caroline area or traveling to it, start time, there was an adjustment for the January 6th game at Carolina. It was at 6 o'clock Central Daylight Time. It is now at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time. So just wanted to make that note for anybody who, again, maybe was traveling and thinking about going to that game. That will be 8 o'clock local time when that game starts. Now Next up for the Blues, Saturday versus Chicago at 7 p.m. And they are in St. Louis for that one. I believe it's on the Bally Sports app. So that is the last preseason game, folks. Next week, season opener Thursday at Dallas. And of course, we will have our season preview show, the start of season 13 on that show. So make sure you tune in for that on Wednesday. But yes, Thursday at Dallas, 7 o'clock. Excited. The summer is finally over, and we are starting some Blues real hockey coming up here soon. Rapid fire tidbits from around the NHL. The ESPN, as I like to call it, ESPN announced new Frozen Frenzy for NHL games. It's basically their answer to NFL Red Zone. They will reveal it on October 24th when all 32 teams will be in action. I think that's the first time of the season. All 32 teams will be in action. John Butchergross will host. The studio will bounce between different games at the same time as the league will show, quote, every power play, every hit, every goal, every highlight. So basically, this is a test of a new thing they're thinking about doing. It'll be on the 24th. If it's successful, which I think it will be amongst
Every
hockey
hit?
fans. Everything.
Oof.
They say they're showing everything.
Okay.
They're saying this could occur more often if it gets enough viewership, which I do think it will. Do you guys ever watch? I know you're not huge football fans, but do you guys ever watch NFL Red Zone?
Isn't that a pay service? No,
I don't know. I have no idea. I've watched it.
I watched back in the day when they first introduced it, when you could only get the NFL Sunday package on DirecTV. I watched it and it was fun.
It was
cool.
Yeah,
It literally does show like every big play, and it was awesome. This will be harder to do with hockey, just because to me, maybe I'm wrong, but because there's no stoppages. Like with football, it's like, okay, that play was a dud. We don't need to show that. That was a big catch. We need to show that. With hockey, it's like there's so much that happens in a game that it's like the flow is just constant.
In the NFL, there's like, what is it, 7 or 8 minutes of actual game time?
Yeah,
that's it. Every game.
Yeah,
the rest of us just clocks ticking away during in between plays.
Yep. No, I'm excited to see what they do with this. It could be not good. We'll see what the production value is like, but I'm pretty excited to watch it. I know I'm going to be tuning in. Could be something really cool. So hopefully they do it justice. So Bill, I've not had time to read this because I did not see this before the show started, but you posted it.
Yeah,
so the NHL has issued clarification menu on special initiatives. I'll let you take the mic here, sir.
Yeah, so it literally hit my feed right as we were circling up to start the show. And so a lot of consternation last year. I know we spent a lot of time talking about it. The specialty jerseys, the specialty nights, and how the NHL got it so terribly wrong. And everybody remembers the Ivan Provorov situation in Philadelphia. And so the NHL sent out a memo that was apparently very confusing to a lot of people. And so they have issued a clarifying memo as to what the expectations are around specialty nights, right? They're allowed to happen, but there can be no specialty sweaters worn in either practice, warm-ups, or games. So the NHL will require teams to basically adhere to the jerseys, that they've committed to wearing to the NHL and its sponsors. I think that's an important part that doesn't get said here. But no purple jerseys for Hockey Fights Cancer. On the ice, they can still produce them and sell them, and players can voluntarily model them in off-ice activities, but they cannot wear them in official league-sanctioned activities on the ice.
So I wonder if that. Okay, I know they have to wear suits, right? Like that's the kind of stipulation when you're showing to the arena, you have to show up in suits. But a lot of times, like on TNT and ESPN, we kind of get the feed of the camera in the hallway of like the players walking through.
Yeah, Hockey Night in Canada is the best at that.
Can they get away with wearing, like, if the team was like, hey, we're gonna wear these jerseys into the arena so that way they like see us wearing them? Is that considered on ice because they're in the arena?
No.
Nope.
No?
I
would
really
love
is.
if a team does that, you've got a new fan because I would love that.
Yeah. I would like to see people do more things like that. With the on ice avenue shutdown, it would be cool. I mean, how cool? Totally different, but how cool was the Blues showing up to the game in Minnesota, the Winter Classic game, wearing beach attire, right?
Yeah,
the whole coordinated thing, and it's that was fun, but. Hopefully this will make it clear that it's the NHL isn't saying no to the different specialty event nights. Just can't do it on the ice.
And that's, I mean, I'll say it. I would prefer this over how it was last year, where it was just teams all of a sudden were like, we're just going to pull this, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, you were already all in on it. Just fucking do it. So I will say I do prefer the NHL saying, okay, you're not going to do Pride. We're taking it away. You guys have, we're teaching you a lesson, basically. We're taking everything away. You can't do any of it. But I will say it sucks. It fucking sucks because that is one of the cool things when you show up to the arena and the Blues are wearing purple sweaters or camo sweaters, and it's so different, and it looks so different in warm-ups, and you get some cool shots of it, and I don't know. They're just not going to raise as much money anymore because it's not going to be guys on ice wearing them.
Yeah, and the jackasses who were, against all this stuff, what goes down with this too is hockey fights cancer with the jerseys on the ice.
Yep,
can't do that either. So there goes that. A large chunk of that fundraiser is gone from the NHL because that's the jerseys on the ice. That's what sells the jerseys. The players wearing them on the ice and auctioning them off. So it's like. That's gone too. So thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot for being dicks. Yep. You kind of fucked over everything else that was, actually helpful to
a lot
of people.
Let's add the fact too that talking about revenue for the team, Hockey Fights Cancer is a very, very, very important initiative for me as well as many other people. We always buy tickets to Hockey Fights Cancer, and we purposely get to the game right when the arena opens because I want to make a point to see the players wearing the Hockey Fights Cancer jerseys. So guess what? I get to the game early. I'm walking around the concourse. I'm getting a beer early. I'm getting food. Otherwise, I maybe not. I'm probably having another beer before they even take the ice. Like, all that revenue's gone because guess what? Hockey Fights Cancer, just be in my seat by 7 o'clock. Like, I don't need to be there early for any reason anymore.
Yep. We had a handful of shows last season when all this stupid bullshit happened. Each time it happened, and it got worse and worse. So, we've talked about it a lot, and it's a shame. It's a shame that the NHL was forced to do away with one of the cooler things that they do because it became such a distraction. People couldn't handle it, so they couldn't, had to, I don't know.
So Ken Morris asks, will there still be armed forces nights in jerseys? Yes, but the players just are not going to wear the jerseys on the ice.
Right.
So again, the Blues would wear those jerseys on the ice for warm-ups, and then they would instantly put those up for auction on the Blues site. They're still going to have that auction, as far as I believe, but they're not going to be game used. So they're not going to bring...
not player worn on the ice.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Not game used. Player worn on the ice, which means they're not going to bring in as much money.
Yeah.
They'll autograph them, I'm sure.
Right.
Right.
And I think that's got to be the thing, right? Is that they're going to ramp up, make sure that every event that they do includes autographs on every jersey, right? And that, but
You're going to
I
have
guess,
some
I guess the
players that
players,
don't
right?
wanna do
But
that.
the players, right? It has to be voluntary on the players' part. So
Yeah, right.
But going
Yep.
back to our very first conversation about collector's items, this is a chance to create actual collector's items.
That's true.
Right.
People aren't going to buy them as much.
Tony D'Angelo got drunk before the game and actually signed a
Oh.
Pride jersey. That's a collector's item.
Oh, I thought you left us there for a second.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get my camera to refocus because it's blurring me out now. I must not like how I look. I don't know what happened there. All right. Well, I think that's it, guys. Anything else you want to add before we close her up?
No.
No. He's not the best color man in baseball for nothing.
No, I'm what the season preview show next week, right?
Mhm.
So looking forward to that.
We keep saying the 11th. Does
No, it's
City
the-
doesn't play that night, do they?
I don't know if they
It doesn't matter. At
doesn't
this
matter.
point, it's not a playoff game. As we witnessed, those of us that stayed up to watch that last night.
God, that was brutal.
But
Woo.
they only play. They're off. They only play a couple more games, don't they?
Right.
The
No,
next month?
it's international break next week for MLS.
Yeah.
That's right.
For all leagues. But
so the schedule's so weird compared to other sports in the US. It's just hey. Yeah, no.
Yeah. I think it's refocused. I think I'm good. Maybe.
No, you're still off.
Doesn't matter.
There you go.
There we go.
But yeah, looking forward to it. We'll put together some nice stuff for next week to kick off season 13 next week.
And I think we are going to have a what if segment. So we'll
do what if. We'll do what if.
Yeah.
What
maybe
if?
we should start a Slack channel where we have those topics posted.
Yeah.
That's for us, for nobody else.
Things
just brought that up off air.
Things to do this season. Incorporate a what if segment. How long that's going to be and what exactly we talk about, we have no idea. But it's going to be what if.
And I'll add for anybody listening that maybe you or a friend or maybe your business is looking to advertise. We have at least one spot open for advertising on the show this season. We have very affordable rates. We'll gladly pass those on to anybody interested. Probably the best email address to reach out to would just be radio@letsgoblues.com. Correct, Kurt?
Correct. Yes.
So if you're interested, we are looking for at least one more to go into the season. So we'd love to have you. We have very great rates. And again, one of the best listener bases in all of Podcastum. That's right. I made another new word.
Wow.
Podcastum.
Our rates are almost free, right? For small businesses. Yeah.
It's close.
Or big businesses. Yeah. So it's like a drop in the bucket.
All right. Well, I'm going to give away our comment of the show. You win nothing. Good day, sir. Chris Burks says, "Do a Twitch like the youths." I don't know why that is.
I read it like Utes.
What's a Ute?
Youths. So I say youths, and it's probably because my wife watches
Youths.
New Girl. You ever watch New Girl?
A little bit. I used to. Not much.
One of the characters on there, that's how he says youths.
Youths?
He says youths. So I have to say it like that.
I'm a youths guy.
It's probably youths. That is probably the correct terminology, but I like youths.
I like Utes myself.
Chris Burks, can I advertise my basement brewery? You can. That's up to you. If it's worth if it's worth it for you to advertise it, then yes, of course you can.
Send us some pictures. We'll put them on the air. We'll talk about it. We will critique your basement.
Joshua McDonald says this has been awesome. Josh, are you a new listener? Because we do this every week. We're here every single freaking week,
year round.
Yep. Thanks to me.
Yeah. Ponder is the captain during the summer for sure.
So I
does a
guess
nice job.
we're handing off to Kurt for the season. So unless obviously when I need to host, but
Yep.
usually it's your show. So
Yeah, I'm
excited for that.
coming out of hibernation.
Well, you look good tonight, sir.
Oh, thank you. I'm still in my work clothes, so
Yep, me too.
left work. Had to run the store. Came home. Let my dog out. Had to run over to my daughter's soccer game. Came back home. Got something to eat, and then I came down here and doing the show. I have not had time to change.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Same here.
now everybody knows Kurt's a lumberjack.
Yeah, true.
Right. If it were it's a blue lumberjack.
All that I did for this show was put a hat on. Other than that, yeah, work clothes. Still have my shoes on. Even I put
No
shoes
pants,
on when I work.
oddly enough.
Is that
Nope.
weird? No pants. I never
No
wear
pants.
pants.
No pants. Shoes.
Uh,
No pants. That's quite the
Shit,
look.
yep. I'm a new Donald Duck. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
Um,
And when Donald Duck, this is from Friends, if you remember, Donald Duck when doesn't
puts
wear
a towel
pants,
around his
but when he
waist.
gets out of the shower, he puts a towel on his waist. What's that about?
What is that? Yeah, no. Do you put shoes on when you work from home?
I might wear like slides, or I have tennis shoes that I won't lace up. Like slippers. They didn't make me slippers. There was something real loose. Yeah, at home.
So I work from home every day, and I started working from home 2018-ish, and I was struggling to stay awake. Like I could not keep my eyes open in the mornings, and I would have coffee in front of me. I tried everything, caffeine, soda, energy works for me now for rocking that ID life. I didn't have it back then. And I just couldn't figure it out. And then I had somebody at my job at the time tell me, put shoes on in the morning. Like you will get it basically like it sets your mind that you're going to work. And so I started putting shoes on every morning. I mean, I obviously we all struggle sometimes, but like that really did help. I was like, oh my God, just having shoes on makes me feel like I'm working. It's crazy.
I have a question. Apparently, it's a hot topic, and this could be an entire show by itself. Wearing shoes inside someone else's house. You know what I mean? Like when you come in their house, how many times? Okay, I'll say that. I'll phrase it this way: how many times when you walk into someone else's house are you asked to remove your shoes?
Hardly ever.
How does that happen?
Once,
Once,
and then I leave.
I'm trying to think maybe one or two homes that I've been in my life actually asked you to remove your shoes when you walk in, and one was for a party actually, and I'm thinking, okay, at first I'm like, oh, okay, shoes off, they don't want you tracking stuff in the house, okay, I get it. But I'm thinking this is during a party, and then you go to the bathroom with socks on when there's a party going on, and you're like, you guys stand up to pee, right? Most guys. Apparently 20% don't, though, which is like news to me.
I straddle the toilet, actually. I sit backwards. That way I've got something I can read my magazine on.
Yeah. I like a shelf. Sure.
Yeah.
Right. But you got the bidet going on, so it's like double.
You're right,
for you.
Of course.
But so you have your socks on, or worse, if you show up with sandals or something on, and there's no socks, and you're barefoot into someone else's bathroom during a party. That's disgusting. That is gross.
Yeah. My mom was a big shoes off person. Like if I walked in the house from school, she was like, take your shoes off. And like my friends would walk in, she'd like, make sure they take their shoes off. She's not as big of a stickler on it anymore when we come over. But yeah, it depends on the house. My best friend, I go to his house just because I know I'm like, oh, I'm cool here. I take my shoes off at his house. But if I'm just going to like a random person's house, I don't do it unless they tell me.
Right. And I have no problem taking them off if they want me to. It's their house, their rules, whatever. Chris Burks in the chat says, shoes in the house, big no-no. In some countries, Chris, are you from the U.S.?
What country do you think this is?
What country do you think this is? Good. Okay. But I'm sure there are segments of the country that do this, but man, not around here in the St. Louis area that I've experienced. Does it happen that often? Other countries, yes, I understand that it happens. It's quite common. in some other countries. But it's just interesting to me that the shoes off in the house, and I don't know why we're going on this tangent, but the bathroom and the kitchen and the kitchen, like in a party, in the kitchen, all the food, people walking around mingling, and crumbs might be on the floor, a little bit of crumb here or there, maybe a little spill of water or something, and you're stepping in it with socks on. It's just like, oh man, I don't know. It's kind of
well, and I'll say too, I've been to house parties where somebody was like, hey, our second bathroom's broke. And then like there's like a line to use the bathroom, and then if somebody will tell me like, oh, just go, like even the house owner will be like, yeah, just go piss outside if you're comfortable with it. And I'm like, then I gotta put my shoes on and I gotta tie my shoes. Like, no, I'll just wait for the bathroom. And it's like, if you didn't make me take my shoes off, I would go do that, but I'm not gonna do that right now.
I don't know. It's the things I think about sometimes.
No, I'm with you. Well, anyway. We did go off on quite the tangent.
We did.
I think that'll do it, boys.
Yes.
All right. Support for Let's Go Blues Radio is brought to you in part by wearing shoes indoors. Sorry.
Hush Puppies. Brought to you by Hush Puppies. You can wear them indoors.
Yes, you can. Brought to you in part by ID Life, the world's only truly personalized vitamin platform based on a health assessment of your DNA. Visit rockinthatidlife.com for more information. That's rockinthatidlife.com, and get 10% off by emailing Dustin at rockinthatidlife@gmail.com and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you. And by Mike Burgoyne from Real Brokerage Realty. Visit strikewithmike.com today for all of your home buying and selling needs. That's strikewithmike.com. And by, sorry, I'm reading Ken Morris's comment as I'm trying to.
The hat on.
Yeah. Take your hat off, but leave your shoes on before entering my domain. Does it bother you, Ken, that we all usually wear hats during the show?
The hat off thing is like, that's an old school thing, taking a hat off inside the house. I never do that.
The only time that I take my hat off is when I enter my credit union. They're weird about like no hats, no sunglasses.
For security reasons, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I walk
Bank
in and I
theft,
see the
baby.
sign. I'm always like, oh shit, I gotta take my hat off. Yeah. Ken, we asked you a question. God damn it, answer us. And our third sponsor, and of course, God, there's too many people talking now. Matt Harris, the allegations can't keep me down. I'm back. Third sponsor and one of our absolute favorite people, Steve Albers, who just welcomed in his third child. Congratulations to Steve and his beautiful wife, Olivia, on expanding your family. Center Ice Brewery, St. Louis's tasty hockey-themed beer. Check out your local beer vendors for availability. That's Center Ice Brewery beer. Please drink responsibly. That will wrap up episode 22 of season 12 of the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening, and thanks to those who participated in the YouTube and Facebook live chats during the show. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. For Bill Day, Kurt Price, and the facing allegations kid, Austin Lynch, I'm Jeff Ponder, and this was Let's Go Blues Radio. Until next time, everyone, and we can say this and mean it, let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Mark Stone sucks. Let's go Blues.
Fucking A, crybaby bitch.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
You thought I was going to say, son of a bitch, didn't you?